I have not had a chance to talk to you since you got to wear the swanky gold chain and you notched your first uh, big league save with Friday night in LA. Crazy game, and you finally put an end to it. Uh, what were your emotions like uh, during that inning? And then, most of all, what were your emotions like after getting that save and after the team kind of celebrated you?
Yeah, I think going into the inning for me, it was just trying to, kind of relax and control my heart rate and, just trying to get the job done. I think in that situation, especially, it was awesome that we were able to score some runs. And I think it's really important in that next inning to kind of be able to shut things down and kind of just kill the momentum completely and end the game, obviously. So for me, it was just trying to stay relaxed, try and do what I need to do, execute pitches and get outs as quick as I could. And then obviously after it happened, I was, I don't get too excited about most stuff, but that was a cool thing, obviously, and to be able to do it at Dodger Stadium and be able to win such a crazy game was just awesome. And, the emotion was great. It was such a blessing to be able to have that opportunity.
Um, how cool was it to be in that environment and basically to come through in that hostile environment?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it's a crazy environment there, and they do a good job making that place loud and trying to put as much pressure and noise as they can. So it was an awesome opportunity, and it was great to be able to go out there and learn that I can pitch in those situations and in that environment.
If you could assess for me where you think you are now as a big league reliever, and I know you're only in your first year, but where you are now as opposed to when when you first came up and made your first few appearances, because your numbers suggest you're pitching much better. But I'm curious what your feeling is when you're out there on the mound.
Yeah, I think there's always room to improve, obviously, and I'm going to continue to work every day to try and do so. But I think from where I started, I've definitely learned quite a bit. Every day is a new day, but I'm starting to get more comfortable and starting to learn kind of how to be effective at this level. And, there's always going to be times where I can need to continue to work on things and improve, but I feel pretty good about, where I'm at right now and how I've been able to learn and gain experience throughout this year and going forward.
Can you give me an example, maybe something specific that if you stop and think about it for a moment, you think, you know what? Wow, I'm handling this better or that better. Anything specific?
I think for me, it's just trusting my stuff and trusting my stuff in the zone and, going out there and being confident and throwing strikes and, not trying to pitch around guys, and just trying to execute pitches and not think about any of the circumstances or anything going on around me, just trying to do my thing.
Is that a hard thing to do, knowing that when you finally do get to the big leagues, results matter a lot, right? I mean, if you get bombed a lot, you're probably likely headed back down. So I would think that's a mental hurdle that you've got to come to grips with. And it sounds like you've done a pretty good job.
Yeah, definitely. I think early on, that was one of the hardest things for me is, you get up here and you try so hard to stay here. And I think the more you get that in your head that I have to do this, I have to do that. If I have a bad one, I'm going back kind of thing. You put a lot of unnecessary pressure on yourself. And I think the best way to look at it that I've found and that guys have told me to look at it is, I'm here to try to help the team win games in whatever facet I can. And I'm just going out there trying to do my job and not worrying about any of the things I can't control.
We all know that the bullpen has been very up and down this year. But it seems to me that Bud Black and the other pitching coaches, they have made a concerted effort to put some of you younger guys, you, Justin Lawrence, some of the other guys, in some pretty high leverage situations. And they haven't come right out and said, well, we're testing them. But from my perspective, they are testing you a little bit to see how you handle it. I would imagine you appreciate the opportunity to prove yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, whether it's this year, next year, 3 years down the road, obviously everybody's goal is to have a solidified role in the bullpen and be pitching in those high leverage situations. So it's awesome to get those opportunities and to kind of learn from those opportunities. So going forward, in the future, I have some experience. I've learned some things in those different innings and situations to where I can improve and be ready to go.
Has your pitch mix, I know for a reliever it's different than a starter, but has your pitch mix changed at all since you made your debut with the Rocks?
I think maybe a little bit. I think it's just been a function of, learning when to throw what and in what situations that maybe I need to go to more sliders, or maybe I do just need to trust my fastball more. And I think, it's different team to team, but just learning more about hitters and learning how to pitch to them and being more confident in my pitch selection has been something that I've, been trying to learn and continue to try to learn.
Beyond the fastball slider combo, you incorporate anything else these days?
I did. I threw 2 splitters in Los Angeles, which was good. It's been something we've been working on quite a bit. So, just something to help me, with some of the right-handed batters going forward.
Now, when you say splitter, there are various kinds. Are you talking about a split change?
Yes, split change.
Thomas?
Lucas, I'm on the call. I'm trying to get into the ballpark here, so there may be a little bit of noise. Wanted to ask you, coming into this year, you hadn't really been a relief pitcher. How do you enjoy this?
I've been enjoying it. I think it's great. I think there's obviously a lot to learn and a lot of learning opportunities, but as I've gone through it, I think I enjoy the role in the bullpen. And, every day is a new day to try and learn something new and figure something out. So it's been good.
When you were younger, whether coming out of college or going into the minor leagues, did you believe that relief was your future?
Yeah, I think for me, it's always just been whatever way I can help the team win, whatever way I can get up here is, what I'm going to roll with. And I relieved a little bit my sophomore year. I really enjoyed that. For me, I'll do whatever they ask me to, obviously, but for me, it's just going to be a function. How can I learn it? How can I be the best in whatever role they put me in?
Yeah. So when you when they said you were going to relieve, were you expecting, hey, I'm going to learn how to do it at the major league level? Because you did it you basically jumped in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, it was one of those things. I got to learn somehow, and no better way than learning against the best of the best. So it's been a great opportunity.
The confidence, you see it with each opportunity, you see it growing a bit. But at what point did you feel like, hey, you could kind of breathe through your nose and you were in a good spot as far as it being a major league reliever?
Yeah, I think there wasn't necessarily one moment, but every time I go out there, it's been more and more comfortable. And, just talking to guys, talking to experienced guys, and learning from every outing, good or bad, I think it's given me more confidence going forward to, relax, breathe, and kind of trust my stuff.
Who are some of the guys you talked to, and what was the piece of advice that you got that you didn't expect?
Oh man, I talked to everybody. I think they probably get tired of it. I talked to all the older guys, but I think Kinley's been great, Bard's been great, Estevez has been great. Just talking to him about, okay, in this situation, let's say I had a bad outing. What do you take from that? How do you learn from that? And, sometimes I'd be hard on myself and they'd say, well, look at this. This is what happened. This is not necessarily your fault. You executed a pitch. Now, in this situation, this is where you got to be better about breathing, about relaxation, about, just challenging guys. And that's something, I think it's easy to get a little gun shy at the big league level because you see the big names on the scoreboard. You see superstars that you grew up watching, and it's easy to psych yourself up a little bit. But just, remembering that it's really hard to hit regardless of who you are, and being able to trust my stuff has been huge.